Hi everybody, today we're going to be working on the I can statement. I can evaluate expressions. Our first problem is we are given values of variables. X is equal to 5, Y equals -3, and Z equals -8. Right, so those are our variables, and then our expression is XZ plus Y squared. Okay, so let's look at our expression. X, Z are right next to each other. What that means is they're being multiplied. So I'm going to put a multiplication sign there just so I remember that I need to do X times Z when they're right next to each other like that. Now what I'm going to do, and this is what you should do for every expressions problem, is I'm going to replace all of these variables with the numbers that they represent above. So we can see X is equal to 5. I'm going to replace X with 5. Now Z is equal to -8. So I'm going to replace Z right underneath with -8. This is a multiplication symbol there. It's kind of messy. And then I'm going to replace my Y with -3. Notice when I replace my negative variables, I put them in parentheses. That helps you keep track. For example, for this exponent part of the problem, that -3 stuck together is our base for that. We don't want to just write -3 squared because y is our base. There needs to be parentheses, or when we go to calculate that, we'll calculate it wrong based on what we did before with exponents. So now I have all numbers here. I'm going to just calculate this out using GEMDAS. So I'm going to go and I'm going to look for grouping symbols, which I don't have any grouping symbols that have operations in them. Next, I'm going to look for exponents. Here's an exponent, -3 to the second power. I know that's -3 times -3. If I calculate that out, I get 9. And then I'm going to bring down the rest of my problem. Okay, now I'm going to check. So I did exponents. I'm going to check for multiplying and dividing. I have a multiplying problem right here. I'm going to do that part. I can draw my little punch in the eye guys here to help me out. -40 plus 9. All right, I only have one operation left, and that's adding. I'm going to go ahead and add that. We have a war, so we subtract. We should get a negative answer, -31. Okay, there's our first example. Let's delete this, and we can try another one. -4.1 plus 3y for y equals -0.5. You can see the format of this is a little different. We have our expression first, and then they tell us what our variable is equal to at the end. We do the same exact thing. So first I'm going to replace my variables with numbers. So I have -4.1 plus 3y, and y is -0.5. Notice I plugged it in with parentheses again because it's a negative, and that helps us keep track of what's happening with that. Okay, so with my -3 right next to my 0.5, I know that's multiplying right there. And now I'm going to think of my order of operations. I don't see any grouping symbols. I don't see any exponents. I do see a multiplying or dividing, and that is right here, multiplying. So I need to do 3 times -0.5. My punch in the eye guy says that will be a negative answer. And then I'm going to calculate out 3 times 0.5. 3 times 5 is 15. And then I need to move the decimal space over 1. So it's -1.5. All right, I'm going to bring down the rest of my problem. -4.1 plus negative 1.5. All right, I only have one operation left, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Party, add, negative answer. 4.1 plus 1.5 is 5.6. I need a negative answer though, so negative 5.6. All right, one last example here. And our problem is 6 parentheses x minus negative 4 for x equals 5. Okay, remember I start by replacing my variables with my numbers. So I have 6 parentheses, and then x is 5. So I'm going to replace my x with 5 minus a negative 4. And now I can start calculating. I'm going to think about GEMDAS again. Grouping symbols. Oh, hey, I do have grouping symbols here. I have these parentheses. So I'm going to calculate this problem in the parentheses first. Okay, this is a circle, circle. Add a line, change the sign. So inside our parentheses, we have 9. And then in front of our parentheses, right next to them, is a 6. So I know that's 6 times 9. And they're both positive, so I don't need to punch in the I guy. 6 times 9 equals 54. All right, there were 3 examples for you. I hope that helps. Have a great day.